let me create a context for anyone that doesn't know, and I will actually insert some photos of your work, but you do a stencil of a typewriter. You always use the same design of this typewriter.
Yes.
And then what comes out of it is paper, and that's the big image. And then you have some really positive, emotional words on it.
Yeah. And let me back up. So that's one thing like a lot of people don't realize is every typewriter that you've ever seen of mine has been painted, or I should say 99.9% have been painted. When I started, I loved the idea that I came up with, and personally, not egotistical, but I loved the idea because as a writer, it made sense. Typewriter plus page featuring my words.
Yeah.
But that also incorporated the two largest aspects of street art, stencils, usually, and wheat pasting. So I did start off and I painted every typewriter you've ever seen. And then I started wheat pasting pages. And I still do, like smaller ones with an 8.5 by 11 page, or even like what I call a 6-foot piece can have a paper page. But over time, and especially doing walls, you want them to last longer, I started doing all paint pieces.
Yeah.
So a large number of the pieces you see of mine are all paint. And that's still using a stencil to make the typewriter plus the words. But that's also part of my technique. Like I am very prolific, but I cut all those stencils.
Yeah.
I mean, the words. I used to cut all the typewriter stencils, but now I get some laser cut. But the larger ones that we're talking about, I still cut by hand. And then I've gone away from that, or not gone away, but I've added to my repertoire pieces that just don't do the typewriter plus page. There's large words, there's imagery, there's things like that. And there's always a typewriter somewhere, like maybe in the signature. But I love hand cutting. What I'm getting at is I love hand cutting all those stencils. It's part of my process. I love that time in the studio. I'm able to work very quickly when I get to a job, whether it's Renegade or commission, because 75% of the work is done before I get there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Figuring out, what I'm doing, creating the stencils and everything like that. So I can work very quickly.
And you come from a place where a lot of times there's an illegal element to it, where you're just kind of tagging.
Absolutely. Well, that's the reason stencils, are part of the street art world, because you want to do the work quickly and not get caught.